Hey y'all, so today we as a family are taking our first family pilgrimage. Our main destination is Blessed Solanus Casey up in Detroit, but on our way up there we stopped here in Carey, Ohio to the National Shrine Basilica of Our Lady of Consolation. We stopped over at the church. Now we're in this big beautiful park shrine outdoor area. And yeah, just show you around a little bit. So the church was built in the 1900s, early 1900s. It was completed then, and then we happened to stumble upon today, they're celebrating their 150th anniversary of the statue of Our Lady of Consolation being brought over from Europe to here. And my son is wanting something. Yes, sir. Are we gonna go see Jesus? Let's do it. Also saw the amazing stained glass windows. My goodness, they are some of the most beautiful stained glass windows I've ever seen anywhere in the world, let alone right here in Ohio. And they were at one time considered probably the tallest or largest stained glass windows in the country. They were installed again in the early 1900s. I think it was 1921. Don't quote me on that, somewhere in the early 1900s. And they're 27 feet tall by 17 feet wide, and one side depicts the life of Mary and some of the major stories, and then the other side depicts the life of Christ, and in the back with the organ depicts the Christ the King and the Trinity. Down in the crypt church, as you saw, they had relics, they had some of the outfits for they had for the statue that people have donated through the years. They have a lower crypt church. You saw the original church that was built in, I think, 1876 or something. It was late 1800s, so almost 200 years old. My children are collecting flowers for my wonderful wife right now. And like I said, we're out here in the park area, just kind of walking around, walking the grounds. Highly recommend if you're in the northwest area of Ohio. I haven't looked at the map closely. I want to say it's about halfway between Columbus and Toledo. So if you're anywhere in that vicinity, come check it out. Have a retreat, have a pilgrimage with your family, especially currently in the Jubilee Year of Hope. This is one of the Diocese of Toledo has designated this as a pilgrimage stop for an indulgence. So feel free to come out here and enjoy. We lucked out with this amazing, beautiful day, and we'll be praying for all of you. Hey y'all, so we made it here to the Solanus Casey Center, and it's connected. So when you come in, there's a nice parking area. It's gated around, and you'll come in, at least the way we came in. There's a little cafe. I'm sitting outside. It's a beautiful day, so I figured, hey, do this out here. There's a nice, like I said, cafe, little gift shop, and then inside there's a really nice museum that they've kind of re-updated and renovated. So it tells about the life of Blessed Solanus Casey, and then you walk around, and then there's the church of St. Bonaventure that they've also renovated, and then his casket is in between the museum and the church, which is really awesome because it has this little glass half dome, so you can look down and see the casket of his remains of his body, and just they have kneelers right there you can pray, which is really awesome. So just a little bit about Solanus Casey. He was born in the late 1800s. He was the sixth child of 16 children. Dang. And born in Wisconsin, and kind of moved around a little bit, was a farm boy, and had some odds and ends jobs. He left the home, left the farm. One interesting place he went was he was a prison guard out in, I believe it was Minnesota, and just worked and did odd ends things. He thought he was going to be called a married life, and then the woman that he proposed to, she got sent to boarding school, and then he just decided, make a long story short, decided to join the seminary, thought he was going to be a diocesan priest. Very similar to Blessed Stanley Rother, he really struggled. He had very limited education, and so he really struggled in the languages, because at that time they would either do it in Latin or German. He didn't know either of those languages. So the seminarian, or the seminary, the rector there said, hey, you may want to look at a religious life in a religious order instead. So he moved here to Detroit after hearing the prompting of Our Lady. He was praying and he heard Our Lady say, go to Detroit. He signed up and joined the Franciscan friars here, the Capuchin friars, the OFMs, and was made a brother, was ordained a priest, and was kind of sent all over the place. The two main areas that he's most famously known for is his time in New York. And my wife and I, years ago, got to go to the friary that he served at, and he was very well known for being at the what's the word I'm looking for, like the front desk person, the receptionist, if you will, and would take the front door at all hours of the night, during the day. Anyone that would knock on the door requesting something, especially the poor and the homeless and those that needed help, he would go and assist them as best he could. But the most important thing he did was to pray to God to help them, especially if they had a prayer intention, especially if they were sick. And it was just countless miracles. Detroit, you can hear the cars going off. It was the countless miracles that became well known, that anyone that was sick or had an injury or a debilitating disease, they would go to Solanus Casey to ask for him to pray for them. Hey, hey buddy. I'm doing a recording.
Ah, okay.
Okay?
I'll play with you.
What? Oh, you're playing with Sissy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll play with you.
You can go play?
Yeah, Daddy, come.
Okay. So anyways, he would do these through the grace of God, and his prayers, his prayers would be answered, and people would be healed miraculously. And so word spread, his lines were out the door, both in New York, but as well as here in Detroit, where he served in the St. Bonaventure Monastery. And he would later die in 1957. Fast forward 60 years later, he's beatified in 2017, and so now we're praying for that one more miracle so that he can be canonized as a saint for here in America. Really, the last thing I want to share that I saw in the museum and that I think really resonated with me, and reading about his life and just praying, was his attention for being in the present. And being in the moment of now and today. Stop worrying about the future and being worried and anxiety, and stop dreading or remembering the past. And the past is gone. Like, all we have is this present moment that God has blessed us with. And his whole mentality was, I am here to serve the poor and the sick, and I'm going to do it for as long as I can, and I'm going to give you my undivided attention right now at this present moment. for whomever walks up to him or whoever knocked on that door. And it's such a, and I've been praying about this. I know to be very candid and honest with you all, I know I've had a personal struggle of feeling God really pulling me to be more present, especially for my children and my family. And so to read that and to see this, I was like, okay, Solanus, I got it. Okay, Lord, I hear you. So I'm going to take that to heart and just to be more present for my family, for my friends, and for God, to prayer, sacrifice, and to be with my family. Speaking of which, I better go be more present to my family right now. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Come on, Daddy.